Hey guys, a new motorcycle joins the garage. We have ourselves a 2007 Triumph Tiger 1050. In this video, we'll go over my first impressions of the bike, some fit, finish, and just my general thoughts of this motorcycle over the last week of ownership that I've had with this Triumph. So stay tuned. So let's get started with what is this? What is a Triumph Tiger? This is the Triumph Tiger 1050. This is a second gen motorcycle. The first generation was the smaller, more dirt-centric motorcycle. Then in 2007, all the way up till 2016, they had the 1050. The 1050 is more of a street-oriented adventure bike. You can do a little bit of off-roading, but for the most part, this is for those types of riders that just like to hit the open road and just chomp miles. This is more crossing state lines, doing 90 comfortably, two up. I've got some panniers and some cruising. So that's what this bike is. When it first came out, it was competing with the likes of the 1200 GS and the Multistrada. I couldn't afford either of those things, so that's why I ended up with the Triumph Tiger. Is it any less of a motorcycle than the other two? Absolutely not. With motorcycling, it really comes to your preference, and this bike knows what market it's going after, and if you want a road-centric motorcycle, this is why you would look at a Triumph Tiger. And that's why I looked at this Triumph Tiger. I had my KLR. It was dirt-centric. I wanted to see if I would like adventure motorcycles as much if it was road-centric, because I do most of my adventure riding on the highway and then occasionally going off the beaten path to get to the campsite or romp around in the campsite once I've unloaded all of my gear. As far as ergonomics, let's switch to a side view so you can see. As far as ergonomics, you can see this bike is very upright and very neutral riding position. This windshield's pretty high up. It clears a lot of the wind turbulence. I've got hand guards. These aren't the structural hand guards like you have in adventure bikes or dirt-centric adventure bike, because this is technically an adventure bike. This is mostly to just deflect the wind, so you don't have frosted knuckles when you're riding in the winter. So mostly deflecting wind. So you've got, if you look at the side profile, you've got a big windshield to clear your wind. You've got hand guards to protect your knuckles from frost, and you've got this huge tank and upright riding position. On the seat, you can see you've got a pretty big lumbar support. So this is my most pronounced motorcycle with lumbar support. This helps you maintain posture with 125 horsepower. I've owned an FZ09 and that had a flat banana seat, and every time I ripped on it, I would just start sliding back on that seat. That's not fun, right? You want to stay in the power and without having to rely on pinching the tank with your thighs to stay on the bike. So this holds you, backs you up, and allows you to have that really supported position. What's also nice is when you have the two up, right? You have a clear separation of space. When my girlfriend rides in the back, the only thing she did complain about was wind buffering, because the wind would come up, clear my helmet, I'm good, but her helmet would sit like above mine, and it would hit her a little bit more than me. So I was looking at getting some like additional visor here to push it up just a little bit more when we do two up. So that's what it is, really neutral ergos, comfortable seating position. I've ridden this now all week as much as I can, and freeways are not a problem at all. I could ride this all day, honestly. This is a comfortable seat. It's a little bit wide. I'm 5'10", 5'10" with a 30-inch inseam. I am flat-footed if I just reach a little bit more. For the most part, I'm comfortable. I can stop at the stop sign, fully straddle the bike. The bike weight isn't bad, and it's pretty good. let's get to some of the accessories you get if you're lucky enough to find one with unscratched and intact panniers. Let's take a tour. What I like about these Triumph from the factory panniers is you get to use your regular key as your main key. Now, you can unhook these so that it opens all the way down. You can see it's a good amount of space, but it's not a whole lot. Here's a tent. This is a one-person backpacking tent, and I guess it kind of, no, the tent poles won't fit. So it does not fit a tent back here. So no go for that type of adventure. Here's a regular size sleeping bag. Let's see if this fits. Okay, so yeah, it'll fit. Okay, it won't fit a sleeping bag. So that's no on that sleeping bag. So really, this could fit maybe just some clothes, weekend clothes maybe. If you're a lightweight backpacker, thank goodness I have some lightweight backpacking gear. I think I can fit it in here, but these are not that big, if I can be honest. But they are waterproof. There's a rubber seal all the way around them, and they're pretty good construction, and they match. I think that's pretty cool. So, you know, it is what it is, right? It comes with the bike. Up here's the dash, your standard mid-2000s dash from Triumph. My favorite part is it tells you how many miles you have until you need to fill up. So that's my favorite. It has a range. And yeah, pretty standard. I really do like an analog tack, and I have a digital speedometer. Now, the overall package and aesthetics of the Triumph Tiger to me is pretty good. This bike, for being 13 years old now, it's 2020, and it being a 2007, it looks pretty damn good. I don't think it's aged too much at all. For an adventure bike, you may consider it too sporty, because I mean the adventure market now in 2020 has just blown up, and everyone has those hard edges, big old tires, or big old front wheels, and just hard bags. So this is, I guess you can consider this a little dated on that side, but if you were to look for a sport tourer or sports centric motorcycle, this is pretty damn attractive still. This bike pretty much was unchanged from 2007 until 2016, besides the swing arm and a few upgrades internally, but aesthetically pretty much the same. A few things that I don't think look that great are these turn signals that the previous owner upgraded. I think they're pretty lame. I think the mirrors don't look that great. I think these are upgraded too, pretty lame. I wish I had better decals. I think this type of coloring and does look a bit dated. Most bikes don't have this type of lettering that you see now, so especially this Tiger logo. Yeah, not that great. Now let's get into the performance, right? That's kind of the main reason I got this motorcycle. So my first impressions of the bike, having owned it a week, when it comes to power. Again, this is a 1050cc inline triple. And my first impression is just absolutely wow. This bike lays down power so smoothly. It isn't peaky, and it isn't bucky off your seat torquey. It's a beautiful blend of the two. When I've had my V-twin Ducatis and the Aprilias, there was just a good amount of low-end torque, and you can kind of feel towards the end it tends to run out, but the triple stays linear the whole time. It doesn't get too peaky like you would get with a super sport bike. So it's a really nice blend, especially if you're touring. This is the, like I mentioned, the Speed triple motor, detuned to be better suited, and detuned and geared to be better suited for sport touring or commuting or a little bit of dirt. So they modify that to fit, and to me, it's been really nice. The week that I've had with it, I've done highways, and I did a canyon earlier today, and really nice blend. Really enjoyed how that power is delivered. It can get you into a lot of trouble really quickly if you're not careful. So if you're looking for this as your second bike or your first bike, I would look elsewhere. I'm sure you'll get by as your second bike, but this is a pretty tall, a little heavy motorcycle and a lot of power that can get you into trouble or become a handicap when you're trying to develop your skills. So just keep that in mind. So the power is really good. Really nice delivery, 120 horse, 80 foot-pounds of torque. We have dual disc Nissans up front and in the rear. Pretty standard stuff. The bike is heavy and I am a little bit more upright. So when I do hit on the brakes, just your momentum makes you feel like there's more give than you would on a sportier bike. Yeah, suspension so far in the canyon, it was pretty good today. I didn't really, I couldn't get into it that hard. I'm still new to the motorcycle, so you know it takes a while to get to that comfort level. Tomorrow is another day, and I'll see if I can find suspension feels really good on the highway or just regular 2-up cruising. It feels supportive. I'm not getting a lot of pogo stick action on the rear, or the front doesn't feel too soggy. Let's get to some random features that I got with the bike. I bought it used, obviously. It's a 2007 and 2020, and it does have a little bit of higher mileage. This has 41,000 miles when I bought it, which could be a little scary for some. Buying a high mileage motorcycle like this is scary, right? You don't know what it's been through. The reason I bought this over other ones that I was looking at is it had service records. And the service record that I was really interested to see was whether the rectifier was addressed. If you're looking for a used bike with slightly higher mileage, it is worth your 5 minutes to go on Google, find out its common issues, and then ask about those exact issues. These Triumphs are known to have charging issues or the electrical system, the rectifier down here, and just ask, has that been addressed? And luckily he had service records and even the original rectifier that came with it. And that to me was incredibly valuable, right? So that's like a check off the list. I don't have to worry about that, at least for the next few thousand miles. It's not a guarantee, but it's a probability. A few things that you also are cautious about when it comes to higher mileage is the paint and finish. Luckily, this bike's been garaged. So when I saw the paint, I was like, hey, this is pretty good. And the previous owner also put kind of protective film on it, I guess, which goes to show the type of owner he was. And that makes me sleep a little bit better easy at night, or makes me sleep a little bit better at night. So that's pretty much it. That's my first impressions of the bike. I mean, it lives up to what I've researched about it. I've enjoyed it for the week that I've had with it on the motorcycle. I'm getting used to the handling, and I think this might be a good contender for like a long-term bike, longer than a year, dare I say. So we'll see. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. You'll see a lot more of this motorcycle in the future. I've got some good stuff coming up for it. So thanks for watching. Ride safe.